Hi guys, it's Gray. Thanks so much for checking out my Vegas videos. This is the first time I ever recorded a review like this, so next time, hopefully we'll have some better equipment so we can explore and review a lot more. But in the meantime, thanks so much for checking out the video. Don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel for more, and enjoy. Lots of yummy, yummy food pictures today. Next, let's talk about food. So I've been gluten-free since the beginning of the year for my own health reasons, and I wanted to see what it would be like traveling, which we haven't done yet because of COVID. So I wanted to see how easy or how difficult it would be to find gluten-free options wherever I went. So starting off with a hotel, there is a food court that's pretty standard. There's a Johnny Rockets, there's like a taco place that has margaritas as well, of course. There's a Pan Asian Express, which is sort of like a Panda Express type of place, pizza place, etc., ice cream, a very good variety in what would be considered the food court, not some of the higher level dining or even the buffet. In the food court, not many gluten-free options. However, the important thing is that you know what you can and cannot have. I unfortunately am not celiac, so I just have a gluten intolerance. So if something is cooked in the vicinity of gluten-containing products, it's not a danger to me, which is the upside. I ended up getting tacos in the food court, and they did have non-marinated meat. It was just charbroiled, and they had corn tortillas. So that was an option for me. In the MGM Underground, right next to Fat Tuesdays, they have Pieology. And Pieology is very similar to Mod Pizza that we have here, in the sense that it's like the Subway of pizza, but much better, honestly. Sorry, Subway. You basically get to build your own pizza, and they did have a gluten-free option. They did have a rice flour crust, which was thin and crispy, and it was ready to go. However, they are very, very good about pointing out they are not gluten-free certified. They are gluten-free friendly, with a very big exclamation that their gluten-free crusts are in the vicinity of gluten-containing items. So if you are celiac, you should probably not go with that option. But if you're just gluten intolerant, then it was a safe option for me. I think we ended up getting food from there twice over the weekend, so it was perfectly fine. At least for me. So other than that, the remaining restaurants, which would be on the casino level, I ended up checking out Avenue Cafe, which I did have a M Life reward for a free complimentary mimosa, which you can't go wrong with a mimosa. And they did have clearly labeled gluten-free options. I just ended up getting eggs, potatoes, and protein, and it came with gluten-free toast. They are very good about asking about allergies as well, so they can notate that on your order. So I think that attention to detail with people's preference / allergy needs is very, very good. Stepping outside of the hotel, we are going to talk about the two main places that we ended up eating at. If you're gluten-free, celiac, the safest thing for you to basically eat is meat, I would say, without having to seek out gluten-free pastas and all that. Just steak. It's fine. It's good. On Saturday, we ended up grabbing dinner at Strip House, which is located in Planet Hollywood. It was about a 15-minute or so walk from MGM Grand. Well, to be honest, it must have been like 30 minutes. Anyway, we did not end up walking to the restaurant just to make sure we made it on time. Service was very, very good. The mood of that restaurant, I would say, is a little bit more romantic. It's definitely not casual dining, so you have to make sure you're dressing business casual, no cutoffs, no typical casual wear. You know, dress it up a little bit. The menu at Strip House isn't overly labeled with gluten-free options. However, again, this is another one of those places, if you know what you can and cannot have, you're going to be perfectly fine. I ordered a steak with some scallops, and we had a side of potatoes, broccoli, and goose fat fried potatoes. Those I did not have because I wasn't sure exactly how it was prepared, if there was any crust on it, flour, etc. I just enjoyed the heck out of that potato puree. I'm salivating at the thought. It was perfection. It was so smooth. It was honestly what a puree should be. So that was Strip House on Saturday. On Sunday, gosh, I feel we really spoiled ourselves here. We ended up having a wonderful dinner, my husband and I, at the Strat at the Top of the World restaurant. 107 stories up, we were seated with a magnificent view of Las Vegas as it turned slowly over the hour, a full rotation. Absolutely outstanding. I thought it was going to be a little bit disorienting seeing that turn, but it's so subtle that it doesn't feel like you're moving at all, unless you actually look out the window. I have to say that the Strat's Top of the World had one of the most well-labeled menus that I have seen. Whether something was gluten-free or not, it was labeled, and the waitress was absolutely phenomenal in explaining to me if something was gluten-free or not, which helped ultimately decide how I was going to have my filet. So I'll be posting some pictures on the side. For our drinks, we did have a very refreshing cocktail my husband had. I know it contained pear vodka and pineapple, so it was very, very refreshing, not too citrusy, not too sweet. It kind of woke your senses up for your meal. I ended up having an espresso martini, which was one of the best espresso martinis I've ever had. I think it was the addition of the dark cherry flavor in there that really elevated it past just vodka and coffee liqueur. This was fantastic. For our appetizer, we ended up having a surf and turf tartare, and I was very excited for it. One, gluten-free, heck yeah. There was spicy shrimp for the seafood side of it, and also prime beef. It was so incredibly fresh. It was the perfect starter. It woke up your senses. It was just so good, so good. And the sauce around it, was actually gazpacho. So the little potato crisps, they're like little waffle chips that you had at the end. I had to try a little bit of the gazpacho on its own. Oh my goodness. Just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Moving on to our mains, my husband had a dry-aged bone-in New York strip, I believe, with a lobster tail on the side. So he made his meal a surf and turf type of deal. He had a side to share, of course, of shishito peppers with popped rice, and again, another potato puree. This potato puree was not as good as the potato puree from Strip House. However, it was still delicious. They were just very well mashed potatoes, but again, I wouldn't really consider them puree consistency in comparison. For my entree, I went with a 10-ounce filet with lump crab Oscar style. I think I could have melted into that piece of meat. It was phenomenally done. Perfectly medium rare, beautiful pink center, and when you cut into it, it was like butter. You put it into your mouth and it just seemed to dissolve. It was a sinful meal. But I felt so secure knowing that everything that I picked was indeed gluten-free, and that feels amazing. As someone who just really wants to relax, I think restaurants are really going above and beyond with allergies and, intolerances, because being gluten-free, I was required to go on a gluten-free diet about 10 years ago when I was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis to see if it would help with inflammation. I ended up losing 12 pounds in 1 month because all I ate was pretzels and cheese. The bread back then was nasty. I don't know if we were buying the right kind, but my God, it was terrible. Now I can get regular bagels and bread and they just taste phenomenal. Yeah, I have to toast the heck out of them, but that's just how I like my bread. All in all, I think that the couple of restaurants that we did check out on our first trip definitely made getting food very easy. I didn't feel like I really had to look around and get frustrated and do Google searches and use my Find Me Gluten-Free app. None of that. I just had to walk up because I knew what I was looking for. And you can also ask. When I went up to the taco place in the food court, I asked them, "Do you have any corn tortillas because I'm gluten-free?" And they said, "Yes, we have both." Cool. And again, if you are celiac, I would probably stay away because they were heating up the tortillas on the same grill as flour tortillas. So again, exercise caution, do what is best for you, but that's just been my experience. So if you are gluten-free, gluten intolerant, there's definitely plenty of options. And for the more higher end restaurants where you actually sit down, they are going to be well educated about what is and is not gluten-free on the menu. So if you think it would be gluten-free but it's not marked, ask. That's the best thing that you can do, honestly, is just ask. The worst thing that a person can tell you is no, but here are some other options for you. So that's been my experience with the food at Las Vegas for our very first day. Overall, first trip to Vegas, what a success. I had an incredible time, even with, highs and lows of anxiety and things just being a little frustrating. It was a fantastic trip. I am honestly looking forward to going back again, maybe because on the last morning of Vegas, I actually ended up winning at the slot machine. And cha-ching, that is how I paid for groceries today. I really had to hold myself back from saying, "Here's this $100 bill. I recently got back from Vegas and I'm paying for my groceries with my winnings." It was very hard to hold back, but I did. So again, it was such a wonderful time. I am very, very happy that we got to go. The food that we got to indulge in, the drinks were fabulous. The service was great. Obviously, we had our little downsides about the hotel room, but live and let learn. We simply review, we move on, and we look forward to trying out another hotel in Vegas because there is certainly more than one, especially if you're looking to go and stay at MGM properties. We can use our M Life. So very, very excited. If you'd like to stick around for more of our travels, then don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. I cannot wait to show you what else we find for gluten-free eats, fun adventures that you can experience, and great stays. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to stay gray-mazing.